A very good day to all. Today, we bring to you a seminar presentation for Assignment 2 of ICT703 for the Masters of Information Technology 2015 University Technology Mara, entitled iSchool versus dSchool. We begin by explaining what is an iSchool. Each year, our world creates more than 281 billion gigabytes of data information. Hence, it can be overwhelming at times. This is where iSchool comes into the picture to study the user and uses of information. iSchool focuses on relationship between information, people, and technology. Its aims are to learn and understand the role of information in human endeavors and nature, to produce people who are an expert in all forms of information required to progress in science, business, education, and cultural field, and to become an important link between users of information and designers of information systems. iSchool research can cover many areas. The ones below are just to name a few. Data, people, and decision, which covers identification, analysis, visualization, and securing data for critical business decisions. Information management, which covers information capture, management, preservation, storage, and retrieval. Information values, policy, and ethics, which covers implication of overload information on the users and its ethic of sharing information online. And finally, human-computer interaction, or HCI, which is aimed to make it easier for all users of all kinds of technology. HCI focuses on user-centered design, user satisfaction, and to improve efficiency. There are quite a number of institutions that have been identified as iSchools in the USA, Europe, and Asia. Indiana University, Cyprus University, North Carolina University, Rutgers University, and Florida State University are amongst the iSchools available in the USA. University of Amsterdam, University College Dublin, University of Glasgow, and University of Porto are those in the Europe. Nanjing University, Seoul National University, Singapore Management University, and Wuhan University are the frontliners of iSchools in Asia. However, in Malaysia, there are very few iSchools. The more established ones are International Islamic University of Malaysia and University Technology Mara. Literature research. Collaborative information seeking, or CIS research, has its roots in the information systems, while LIS research has centered on the human element in information process, widely known as information behavior research. Data analysis addresses the logical, methodological, and pragmatic relations among and between the two disciplinary areas that populate iSchool membership, the CIS and LIS.
A fun place to engage in learning in different ways.
Unique.
Extraordinary.
The iSchool is where I would send my own kids.
An experience that students will never forget.
My new home.
When reality comes to life.
The iSchool is unlike any other high school you are ever going to encounter. Like ever, ever, ever.
Teaching at the iSchool when I was in graduate school, and thought it was just a really wonderful place, that they were doing something different that I hadn't seen in other schools that I'd visited, and couldn't picture going somewhere else and couldn't imagine applying to other schools.
I think what makes the iSchool different is kind of everything about it. We use technology a lot in our classrooms, but that doesn't mean we're a technology school. We have different grade levels incorporated in our classes, and we have different types of classes that wouldn't be found in other schools.
Our students are extraordinarily creative. And I think that because we are able to offer a lot of different classes, our kids are able to show what they're good at in many different ways. In some of our classes, students make films. Students who knew they were good at filmmaking and students who didn't know they were good at filming but who have discovered that they're good at filmmaking all make films together.
It's just a very unique approach to education. They're really working very hard to try to rethink how education should be moving in the 21st century.
The iSchool isn't all about technology so much as it is using technology to further study in the sciences and the math and the humanities.
iSchool students are going to be different from some of the other students that are coming out of New York City in that they have some opportunity here to do some problem solving and troubleshooting that other students may not.
What makes iSchool different from other schools is the preparation that they give you. I feel like a lot of other schools don't have this preparation, and also the iSchool, when applying for classes, they really care about what you want to pursue in your future career, and they really care about your own personal needs and wants. So at the school, we really allow you to take your passions and what you want to apply in your studies and actually follow through with that.
At a standard New York City high school, there is a high emphasis on testing, on learning how to write and respond to the test. And here there is much more emphasis on how to think about issues and the whole question of this application-heavy modules.
A module is a course that we take every quarter. Everyone has to take one. And it's a course where we learn about a specific thing. It's usually a problem that we have to find a solution to.
In the forensics course, we begin with a murder mystery that has been discovered, and so the students have very little background in what exactly they need to know at that point. But we sort of go day by day, and I teach them what they need to know exactly when they need to know it. So they're sort of trainees at a task, rather than having to learn for a whole 2 months before they can do anything.
Constantly reimagining, redesigning module courses based on what's happening in the world around us to kind of build these big 21st century skills. So thinking about what's relevant, what's actually happening, how can I incorporate things that our people are doing and not just having them make a PowerPoint presentation or write a paper, but having them present to critics and outside people when it makes sense. I've brought experts into the classroom when I've taught a module on constitutional law where students wrote a court case decision. So I brought in actual lawyers to kind of critique their work on their final decisions.
The class was no longer boring because of that, because now we can actually say, we know what we're talking about, we know what was going on in the class, and I feel like when teachers bring an outside situation into a classroom, it helps us connect with the class or the topic a little more, so it doesn't become boring, and it's not simple. It's different and more expressive.
The iSchool takes an approach that is, to my understanding, closer to what a college does, a liberal arts college, where students are able to choose their courses and really have a say in what they end up studying, and it makes for very well-rounded individuals when they leave the iSchool.
Because we're allowed to choose what classes that we want, I've actually wanted to learn more in that class, and I've actually wanted to apply myself more into that class, which is why I feel like I had a better learning experience.
I think the students at our school come with a willingness to try things that are different. They aren't as stuck to the conventional ways, and in fact, if you try a conventional approach in your classroom, if you try to just lecture for an entire period and ask them to take notes, they'll probably give you feedback about that, which we solicit here, and suggest alternative ways that would help them to learn better. They become advocates for their own education and learning.
First thing that jumps out at me is a student who's open, because we're not like any other high school. And I feel like if they come in feeling like they've got to box us into a certain thing, then it's going to be difficult for them. But I feel like they have to be open to the idea that there's a variety in the courses that they're going to take. They have to be open to the idea that when they're walking through the hallways, they're going to see different types of students. They've got to be open to the idea that when they're doing their homework, a lot of it may be online, and they have to think about how to balance that.
The iSchool values independence and individualism a lot. Every student has a different pace level, every student has a different way of learning, and the teachers and the administrators, they all value it.
Because they're given so much authority in their own learning, they have to do what's best for them and find what's going to help them be most successful in the classroom. Once they've mastered that skill here, they carry it on to college. And everyone that I've talked to who's returned is enjoying their experience in college, is finding success, and is thankful for the experience they've had here.
The iSchool is creativity, innovation.
A place where your teachers aren't only your teachers, they're also your friends.
It's the perfect institution to prepare students for the real world and what they actually have to do in life.
The iSchool is a place where great minds live.
Now we move on to what is a dSchool. dSchool is a program which is based on the concept of design thinking. It is open to all students from all programs and courses to gather ideas and work on projects. Its main focus is to find the balance between human values, technology, and business. The core idea of a dSchool is a human-centered approach, which is a user-friendly methodology of solving the world's problems, brought to life with stages of empathy, ideas, and prototyping, which focuses strongly on the user. Students are challenged to focus on people instead of computers, to observe people, to determine their messy problems, think about all possible solutions, prototype, test, and implement those solutions. It creates new solutions that never existed before. The design thinking stages are as follows: empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test.
Geniuses at Stanford have come up with a process that will broaden your perspective and help you create better solutions no matter the type of problem. This process is called design thinking, and it's here to change the way you tackle problems. Design thinking encourages people to explore new alternatives, creating options that had not existed before. Design thinking is successful because it focuses on the needs of the user. It's more than just good ergonomics, it's about understanding the context and culture of the stakeholders involved. This understanding is found using direct observation and qualitative data, which produces stories that people can really empathize with. Once the research is conducted, the problem solver is more apt to define what the real problem is. After diagnosing the true problem, it's time to ideate or brainstorm new ideas without the constraints of existing solutions. Because design thinkers learn by doing, these radical ideas are then made into simple prototypes that test possible outcomes. Rapid prototyping speeds up the innovation process because we only learn about the quality of our ideas when we test them in the real world. The process of ideating, prototyping, and testing is repeated early on so that mistakes are quick, cheap, and ultimately lead to success. So, why design thinking? The process provides a method and a unifying language for multidisciplinary collaboration, leading to greater creativity and better solutions faster. Suddenly, the world's problems are simple and manageable with design thinking.
The dSchool approach, which is adapted from Stanford University, mainly runs on three major platforms: technology, business, and human values. The coexistence of these three platforms then gives rise to manufacturing, organizational behavior, and design and interactivity. All this gears towards the design innovation.
dSchool is born out of a design thinking process that really has to do with innovation.
A new kind of leader is needed in the world, and how we nurture our students in terms of their capacity to tackle some of those broad innovation challenges is fundamentally changing.
For students to be ready for the 21st century workforce, they need to learn how to collaborate, they need to improve their speaking skills and analytical skills.
The students are motivated by a lot of different things, but they all want to change the way they're working. This is our 5th space in 4 years.
We've really celebrated a lot of failures along the way and have been very mindful about how to build and how to advance.
In designing this space, we turned our process in upon ourselves and tried to gain empathy for our own community.
Empathy meaning you pay more attention to people and what the experience is like.
We found out that prototyping in itself and being flexible and creating a space that can evolve is really important.
It was quite interesting to engage with Steelcase to address behavior patterns specific to some spaces at the dSchool. We're actually maybe thinking about classes in a slightly new way.
In the end, we want them to create something. And when you put students in that posture, what it does is it flips the whole educational system around. So now content has to be generated by the students.
So in constructivist pedagogies, the students are discovering new concepts and creating their own knowledge instead of memorizing facts.
So we find very frequently that students will advance their projects, almost like in the blues, like a call and response kind of thing, where we're giving them a call and they're responding.
What I see as the responsibility of the instructors is to provoke the students to generate that content.
Allowing the students to participate and allowing the instructor to become more of a guide on the side instead of a sage on the stage.
So keeping things mobile and flexible is really important to us in terms of empowering the students as well as the teaching teams.
We also like to create environments where students can move around a lot. We think this is really helpful to sharing leadership responsibility in a collaborative environment. So what we've designed into the space, I think, are ways that students can very quickly manifest their ideas. So we like to have them right on vertical surfaces. We also like to offer different types of spaces for students to work in. So we'll do a lot of analog work, but to be able to capture it and share it quickly, digital media is a perfect injection. What the Mediascape does is allows students to take over a screen. So at any given time, if someone wants to share something from their computer with a group, they can just tap a button.
A lot of times folks will come into a room and just use it as is, and they don't think that it might be in the way of their own work.
Space plays a really important role in learning. I don't think it's the solution to everything, right? There's lots of factors at play. And the way we like to think about it is that context can become content.
How can we shape the environment so that we can start changing the behavior of the students or the faculty so it's more likely to lean towards these innovation behaviors?
Main player of these schools are Stanford University in the USA, University of Cincinnati in the USA, Arizona State University College of Design in the USA, Imperial College Engineering School, London, Carnegie Mellon University, Cleveland Institute of Art College for Creative Studies, Hasso-Plattner Potsdam University in Germany. In Malaysia, there are two leading D-schools which are Genovasi and also Asia Pacific Institute of IT. In comparisons, iSchools are interested in people and information making vital connection, making information work and alive, and giving power to transform lives. dSchool, on the other hand, solves complex problems in a creative way. It also plays with the problem and prototype until the user is satisfied. However different are the two, iSchool and dSchool are similar in the sense that all the information processed are based on human needs and it expands human capability through information gathered. Both iSchool and dSchool looks by observing human experience, understands by analyzing challenges and opportunities, and makes by envisioning future possibilities.